I need to take.
Hello everyone, Steve is in the house. Let's try and get back to a little bit of normality. It'll be a while before we're completely normal, I understand, but let's just try a little bit anyway. Yes, hello. Welcome once again to Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel. 7:30 UK time, 1:31 Memphis time. It's still a little bit surreal, even though Lisa Marie Presley has now been laid to rest next to her beloved son Benjamin, and obviously just across the fountain from Elvis, her father, Gladys, and Vernon, and Minnie May, of course. But I did feel that we should maybe try and have a little bit of fun this week. As I say, I don't think for a minute that it will be normal for a little while yet anyway. But we do have to carry on. Lisa Marie Presley would have wanted us to have carried on. She would have wanted us to honour her father and keep his memory and his name alive and his legacy, which is what we are trying to do in this channel. This is what this channel is all about. It's your channel. For anybody that's new, I know I've said this many, many times to the regular viewers. They'll know that I say this a lot, but it is your channel. And without your support, this channel would simply not exist. So I always say, thank you very, very much for all the support, all the emails, all the kind comments. If you've bought me coffee to support the channel, again, I am deeply indebted to you. Also, don't think for a minute there that you're obliged to buy me coffee, because you're not. If I was never bought another cup of coffee on this channel would still exist. It would still keep going. But it is just a show of your appreciation. If you think I'm doing the right thing, if I'm going in the right direction, if you appreciate what I do, you can buy me a cup of coffee, or you don't have to buy me a cup of coffee. That's that out the way. So we have obviously this day in Elvis history, live interactive poll. I've got a good live interactive poll for you this week. I wish Elvis had recorded, selected by one of our viewers. We'll come to that later on. We've got Dave, Arkansas Dave, in the house doing the moderation for me. I'm not sure yet whether Lou is in the house and Maxine. Maybe they are tied up elsewhere. What's this here? Sweetheart, I can't see Steve yet. Can you? Oh, I hope you can. Deb H says, yes, I see Steve. Phew. And I also see Lou Dane. Hi, Lou. Thanks very much for moderating as well. What else have we got? We've got Photoshop of the week. We've got the smoking hot photo, which is a good one. It's worth waiting for these last few weeks. You will be able to call me later on WhatsApp. There's the telephone number on the screen. Instagram and Facebook Messenger. If you follow me on Instagram or you've got me on Facebook Messenger, you will be able to ring me on that as well. I will open the phones later in case there's anything else that you couldn't get through the last couple of weeks and you want to say something about Lisa Marie or the topics that I will be covering in the next few minutes. By all means, I wanted to go again like we did last week and emphasize that what we decided to do in the end was not to send a floral bouquet on behalf of this channel to Graceland for Lisa Marie Presley, but what we did was we said we would donate to the Elvis Presley Charitable Foundation. I'm going to put a link below in the description box so you can just click on it and then you can donate online, or you can send a check made payable to the Elvis Presley Charitable Foundation, and you can post it to the Elvis Presley Charitable Foundation, 3734 Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee, 38116. I'll mention that again before the end of the show, but I have put a link in the description box. Something else very, very disappointing that happened during the week was I saw online, and somebody gave me the heads up about this, was the order of service, the memorial booklet that everybody was given when they attended the ceremony last week at Graceland. People were putting them up for sale. Yes, putting them up for sale on the internet for quite substantial amounts of money. Now, it's not up to me to tell you what to do with your money, but I would not do that simply because you can actually just download it for free at graceland.com, and you can print off as many copies as you want, or just one copy if you want for yourself. But that is basically what you can do. So I would not be parting with any money whatsoever for the order of service, the memorial booklet, when you can print it off yourself for free, or you can take it to a photo shop and get it printed for a few cents. So I was very, very, very disappointed to see that, and I have no shame whatsoever saying that do not do it. I think the people that are trying to make money out of this sad occasion are just the lowest of the low. I'm sorry. And also, you will be seeing things like this as well. Lisa Marie Presley with her father, Elvis Presley, December 1970, 8x10 photo, £23. This is sterling, so obviously this is somebody in England. 23.10 and 13.91 postage. And of course, as a lot of you might know, I featured that photograph a couple of weeks ago in Photoshop of the Week. That is not an original photograph. It is a Photoshop. And again, I think it's an insult to be asking people to pay £23 and also 13 for postage as well. But again, it's entirely up to you. If you think that's a nice photograph, even though it's a Photoshop photograph, if you want to, but I just wanted to give you the heads up. I know that some people can't spot these photographs very easy. If you see one advertised and you're not sure if it's genuine or if it's Photoshop, you can send it to me and I'll vet it for you. Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel at gmail.com. I'll tell you whether it's genuine or not, and then it's up to you whether you want to spend your money or not. It's not up to me if you want to buy those, but I just wanted to let you know that that's what's happening at the moment, because obviously Lisa Marie Presley is a hot topic at the moment. Now, the quiz. Let me just make sure that I've mentioned everything so far that I want to mention. The quiz is returning, and I wanted to show you what we are playing for. Do you remember I said that I got this a few weeks ago, but then I couldn't show you it because of obviously the events of the recent few weeks? And this is what we're playing for. Now, this is not going to do it justice, folks. This really is not going to do it justice. This is an exceptional piece of artwork. Pencil drawing, as far as I know. It's on proper heavy-duty paper as well. And it's by a artist called Marko O Leary. And I will leave his details or a link to his Facebook page in the description box below. And I haven't got it with me at the moment. I was going to get it out and I was going to try and show it you. I will measure it during the week and tell you how big it is. It's not a little print, it's a big print. And this is what we're playing for this month and next month, because what happened was, because we missed 2 weeks of the quiz, we're going to carry the quiz on through to February as well. And then that is what you are playing for. As I say, it really doesn't do it justice. It is exquisite work. And Marko also does, obviously he does Elvis, but he also does all these other ones as well, like John Wayne and Steve McQueen, William Shatner. There's Elvis again on the bike. He's an extremely talented artist, extremely talented. So there's lots of Elvis on his Facebook as well. And as I say, the link is below. And that is what we are playing for this month and next month. So, and the fan of the month this week is, it's a new thing I've thought of. It's identify Elvis's co-star. Now, you might think I'm just going to show you a photograph of a co-star, and you are going to say, oh yeah, well, that's Anne Margaret or whatever. But no, it's going to be a picture of them, and their face is going to be blurred out. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Now, make sure that you select the live chat and live chat, not live chat and top chat. And if you haven't got live chat and live chat displayed, you need to just click on those three little lines, and that will help you. Without further ado, and I'm looking for help from my moderators to let me know who is first with the correct answer. This is the first. I'll start you with an easy one, but they will get harder. So if you can tell me who this is with Elvis. Alrighty. Random Video 12 says, what is your Instagram? My Instagram is Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel. Wow, that was quick. I can't believe how quick that was. Yeah. Mark says, oops, I wasn't on live chat. All right, so I'm just waiting now to see who gave me Judy Tyler. Yes. And they can get the... there's a lot of Judy Tylers there. Who was first to get the jingle? Okay, so Lou Dane says Banjo Paul. All right. Dave, who are you seeing? Norset misspelled last name, but Banjo got it. All right. So in that case, what I'm going to do, as I normally do, is... hang on a second. Let me have a look. Okay. Norset says Judy there. Banjo Paul says Judy Tyler. I'm going to give it to Banjo. Banjo, this is for you.
I need tactics, honey. It's just the beast in me.
And that's quite appropriate, because that's the lady that he says it to, isn't it? And just to confirm it, there's the photograph that I used. Okay. Now, they will get harder. I wanted to start you with an easy-ish one. So, number 2, who is this with Elvis? Somebody says, no, not harder. He actually says that's the beast in me to Judy. Okay. So, again, moderators, I'm looking for help. And I'll tell you what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, obviously, it has to be spelt right. All right. Arkansas says Norset. And hi, Doug. No, that's not Anne Margaret. Ruth says Dolores Hart. Dolores says Dolores Hart. Yes. Okay. Did I miss Lou? Lou says 2 misspells, then Helen Murray. Okay. Well, the only thing to do there then is, because I couldn't give it to Norset because of the misspells, it's going to be Helen Murray. So, Helen?
I need tactics, honey. It's just the beast in me.
Yeah. I'm going to be very strict on the spelling. And there is the photograph that I used just to confirm it. And beautiful, beautiful Dolores Hart. I wrote a letter to her, to where she's a nun. And unfortunately, I got a letter, a very nice letter back saying no, unfortunately, she couldn't come on the show. But there you are. Right. Take your autocorrects off, says Lou Dane. That's a very, very good suggestion, Lou. Yes. Now, here we go. I'm going to look forward to this one. This is number 3. Elvis co-star number 3 is there. Who do you think that is? I did tell you they'd get harder, and now you're going to prove me wrong by going, bang, somebody's going to get that really, really quick. Norsa says Jack Albert. No, Lou Dane. It's not Arthur O'Connell. No, Arthur O'Connell. A lot of people saying Arthur O'Connell. Walter Matthau. Ruth. Okay. Mrs. EAP Elaine Walter Matthau. No, it's not. No. I'm not good at the co-stars' names. Okay, right. Bravo. Yes, that's a good clue for everybody. That's a good clue for everybody. He played in Roustabout. Julia Page is Dean Martin. Could be Dean Martin with that hat, couldn't it? Yeah, could be. Okay. I think one person got it right. I'm trying to call on WhatsApp, but just getting dialing tone at the moment. Yes, well, Blast from the Past that's because I actually haven't turned the phone lines on yet. So you can ring me when I've told you about the phone lines. Right, I've seen one person get it right, and I believe it is Paul Gansky. Hi, Paul, because that is Leif Erikson. Leif Erikson from Roustabout. So, Paul, I'm going to give it to you.
I need tactics, honey. It's just the beast in me.
Okay. Paul, well done, Paul. And just to prove that it is Leif, there it is. And that caught quite a few people out, actually. The Drunk Carney, yes. Yeah, that did. I see BP Monkman's got it as well, but yeah. That's going to go to Paul Gansky. All right. David Lund says 5 minutes later, question mark. I know, yeah. Well, I wanted to try and just see how many more people got it, actually, David. Right. Another probably tricky one. Right. And number 4, name this co-star. I left quite a bit of hair on this one, so it might help. I'm wondering if I'm ever going to do a question one week where nobody gets it right. Okay. Well, I'm just amazed. I really am just amazed at how many people are getting this right. Doug Dickinson says Bill Bixby. No, it's not Bill Bixby. It is actually, and I'm going to say it because quite a few people have got it now, is Gary Crosby. Okay. Now, who was the first person to get Gary Crosby right and the correct spelling? The correct spelling is Graycrosby. Moderators, can you tell me who got it? Who got that right first time? Because I did see one that was spelt. It was the right. Will Hutchins. No. Jack, not Will Hutchins. I caught Jack out. I don't believe it. Somebody says Red West. Well, I'm seeing Elvis Austin there as the first person that got it right. So you see, no set, Dave. I don't think she spelled it right. So I'm going to go for Elvis Austin, if that's okay. Because I said I was very, I'm going to be very strict on the spelling. Elvis Austin spelled it right first. Yes. Elvis Austin, Duncan Campbell was first for the previous question. Right. Well, in that case, then I'm going to put Duncan as well as Paul. Duncan. They can share that for Leif Erikson. Right. Oh, yeah. Don't forget.
I need tactics, honey. It's just the beast in me.
Right. And just to prove that was Gary, there's Gary Crosby, obviously Bing's son. Number 5. I think you'll get this one. I think a lot of people will get this. A lot of people will get this. Here we go. Very, very distinctive photograph that. Very, very easy, I think. Okay. This is going to be very, very easy identifying who was the first person. Jimmy D says Anne Margaret. No. Brian Roberts says Anne Helm, but he missed the E off. It's actually A-N-N-E. It's Anne Helm. And as far as I could see, Norset was in there really fast and she spelt it correct and everything. So David Lunn said didn't fancy her. Okay. Well, actually, as far as I know, Elvis had a romance, or Elvis and Anne had a romance during the making of Follow That Dream. And I think she is an absolutely delectable looking lady. And I would actually do anything to speak to Anne on the show. I really would. Yes, both my moderators are saying Norset. So 45, Norset 45. That was an easy one to moderate.
I need tactics, honey. It's just the beast in me.
Yeah, David Lund says, gimme Tuesday Weld. Tuesday Weld would be another stunning co-star, of course, along with Jocelyn Lane. As everybody knows, I picked Jocelyn Lane as my favorite of all time of Elvis's co-stars. Just to prove that this is Anne Helm, there is the unblurred photograph. And yeah, I've got to say, I think she is an absolutely... Anything Steve raises an eyebrow. I'll see if I can do that, yeah. Okay, yes. And as I say, I think she's absolutely delectable. I've seen recent photographs of Anne, and she is still stunningly beautiful. And as I say, I would do absolutely anything to get Anne on the show, just to say hi, Anne. I wouldn't, it would be no big, heavy, in-depth interview. It would just be, hi, Anne. I think you're great. So, yeah, I would just love to speak to Anne. Now, last but by no means least, number 6. Who is this co-star? Let me do the eyebrow again. Who is this? It says, hi, Anne. Goodbye, Anne. Yeah, that's what it would be. Okay. Oh, well done, people. Tiffy, no, it's not Joan Blackwell. Oh, Bossa Nova, baby, Raquel Welch. I can see where you're coming from, actually. Yes, because Raquel Welch did have hair like that around about that time. Right, a lot of people are getting it, so I'm going to put you out of your misery. It's Elsa Cardenas. Okay? And it was Jack. Thanks, Dave. I did see Jack's name first. From the Bolero jacket kind of gives it away. It's from, and the hair, and just the whole look of Elvis in that photograph. It is fun in Acapulco.
I need tactics, honey. It's just the beast in me.
So that is young Jack Mullins. Well done, Jack. And just to prove that it is who we say it is, there you go. There's Elsa uncovered. Elsa uncovered. So that was fun. I said we should have Elvis fun tonight. The thumbnail that I've used for the show on YouTube says let's have some Elvis fun. So that's what it is. We're having Elvis fun. And I'm going to remind you of what we were playing for. And it is this. Okay? A stunning drawing, pencil drawing by Marko O Leary. So that's Marko, M-A-R-K-O, O Leary, Marko O Leary. And he does Elvis portraits, of course, and he does others as well, not just Elvis, John Wayne, Steve McQueen. There's a whole load of them that he does. And I have put a link to his Facebook page so that you can... And I'm sure if you want to ask him to do a particular drawing or anything like that, he will take commissions as well. So that is great. Thanks very much to Marko. And you'll be seeing more of that because we're going to be running the quiz for January and February because we lost 2 weeks in January. Now, what else did I want to do? I wanted to remind you that if you're new to this channel, playlists, if you go to playlists and then click on playlists, interviews with people from the Elvis world, you can see all the interviews that I have done with the people in the Elvis world, of course. And also, to keep up to date with the show as well, click on the community tab. Now, I know if you're looking on your mobile, you might not be able to see the community tab, but just scroll across where it says videos and shorts and live. Just scroll across, click on the community, and that will keep you up to date with any announcements and things like that during the week, in case I have to announce something or so forth. I've got another idea to do as well. I've been looking at funny photographs and things like that of Elvis and people together and just Elvis in general. And I was thinking of doing a caption this photograph. And what I might do is whoever supplies me with the best caption or the funniest caption, I will pick as the winner. So that might be a way of getting round doing this quiz and people saying, well, my internet is so slow or I can't. Maybe do that. Steve, did you hear about the legal work filed by Priscilla? I did, Randy, yes. How could I not? There's been so many stories coming out and things. Of course, we heard also about Riley having a child as well. I'm trying to keep away from that as much as I can. I'm trying to just sort of keep it Elvis this week. There is going to be a lot coming out of the woodwork over the next few weeks, and we can maybe donate a whole or dedicate a whole show to these things. But, you know, it's kind of, I feel a little bit sad at the moment when I see things like that because, you know, Priscilla, Riley, Harper, Finley, they're all going through a very, very rough time at the moment, and I'm pretty sure they want to be kind of left alone. But of course, the press aren't going to leave them alone because Elvis is back in the headlines again. He's back in the limelight, and then his daughter is because of her passing away, and then you've got all the stuff that surrounds it. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure they just want to be left alone to grieve at the moment, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen, unfortunately. One of the nice things though that happened during the week was the Oscar nominations. Yes, everybody. They're not the Oscar nominations. And Elvis, the Baz Luhrmann movie, has got Best Picture, Best Leading Actor, Best Cinematography, Best Editing, Best Sound, Best Production Design, Best Costume Design, Best Makeup and Hair. That's 8 nominations. So if he doesn't win at least one, I'll be very, very surprised. So it looks like Elvis is going to, or the movie Elvis is going to win at least one Oscar, I believe. What do you think out of those 8 is he going to most likely win? You can ring me when I open the phone lines in a minute and tell me. In the meantime, bottom right hand corner, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell and select, when the bell goes black, select all, not personalized. Okay, that would do me a great favor if you subscribe. Give a like and a thumbs up as well, and don't forget to leave your comments in the section below as well. Now I've got a little bit confused here. What do I want to do next? Oh yeah, we're going to do the poll actually. That's what we're going to do, and then I'm going to open the phone lines. And the poll is, a couple of weeks ago there was a bit of a hullabaloo about this photograph. Do you remember? It surfaced and people were saying that it was taken. Well, there was different stories about this was taken just before the Aloha from Hawaii special. It is in Hawaii. That's not in doubt. But people were saying, well, you know, he doesn't look like that. He looked more like on the left. That's what he looked like in January 1973. How can this be taken a couple of days after or before the Aloha from Hawaii? And then, of course, there was the March 1973 down the actual margin of the photograph. But that was when it was printed. That's not when it was taken, March 73. That was when it was printed. So, but then again, he does look more like this, which was taken in Hawaii in May 1972. And then I've also got a very, very clean copy of that as well, of the same photograph. There it is. It's cleaned up. And it looks like he's wearing the blue trousers, the same blue trousers, and of course the gold belt as well that he wore at Madison Square Garden press conference. So what my question today is, and let's have a look so I can load it up, is When do you think the rear photo was taken? May/November 1972 or February 1973? Aloha. And I have actually launched that poll there for you now. So you can be voting on that over the next few minutes. And I'll tell you before the end of the show who's voted for what, whether it was May, November 1972 or February 1973. A lot of people are saying February 1973, aloha. But when you look at those photographs, there is the rare photograph on the right, and then there is Elvis in February 1973. So, and I'll tell you what I would have voted for, May, November 1972 or February 1973, aloha. So I will leave that with you for a little while, and I will come back to it and show you the photographs again, just to help you decide. Okay, now we've done the quiz. I wanted to, obviously, we've just been talking about the Oscars. Don't forget, there is an Oscar night party in the UK on the 25th of March at Haydock Park Golf Club. It's £25 per person. Get yours now, only a few left, and you can contact lesliepilling61@gmail.com. Featuring Phil Shakespeare's Hot Shots Disco. We know, a lot of people know Phil's Hot Shots Disco, Elvis Disco. It's a great disco. Also guest is Lauren Knight, who is a Priscilla Presley tribute artist, or what, I don't know, is it tribute? Yeah, I suppose it is. She is, yes. She's a lookalike. That's what it is. And tickets in advance only. So if you want to contact Leslie at that email address and have a bit of fun that night, by all means do. Right. Phone lines open. If I take it off, if I activate the phone lines, if anybody does want to call in, they can. As I say, what do we need to do? We need to do this. Remind you to subscribe, click the bell, and turn it black. Great. A caller. I like it. Hello.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, who's calling?
This is Paul calling from Teesside in the UK.
Hi, Paul. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
That's a very humorous picture I can see on your profile.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, I'm a bit of a fan, actually. I've got to admit.
It's Rick, is it?
Sorry?
Is it Rick Mail?
No, actually, it's Shakin' Stevens.
It looks like Rick Mail to me.
Well, let me just check here.
Because I don't think that Shakin' Stevens would actually pose like that. You can come back to me anyway, but it looks like Rick Mail to me.
No, it is. I think it is him. I think it is.
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. I was a big fan of Rick Mail as well. So.
Yeah, well, I am as well.
Great.
I love the young ones.
Yeah. Yes, and Bottom, of course. Right. Sorry, we kind of got off. Yeah. We kind of got off. I'm sure people are wondering, what are they talking about? Especially the people in America, because they wouldn't know about Bottom and Rick Mail.
Yeah, we've just kind of gone off on our own tangent there, haven't we?
Good to speak to you anyway. What can we do for you this evening?
Well, the reason I rang in, Steve, is I've watched the stream quite a lot over, since you've been doing it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't always get the opportunity to watch live, but I will always catch up. Sorry. But yeah, what I just wanted to say was I love what you do, and I think it's a great little community that you've got here. And everything. And I just wanted to briefly talk about vinyl because recently I just got back into collecting vinyl, and one of my early memories of Elvis was on vinyl. And my dad had a few records in his collection. He had like the RCA Starcall label Sun Records, the one with the drawing of Elvis in the red jacket and the white tie.
Yeah.
And he had a couple of other budget LPs in his collection. And when I got into records as a kid, he began to buy me, I don't know whether you remember, but in places like Woolworths, you could buy these Camden budget LPs.
Yes, the budget ones.
And I loved them. There was a lot of them. Like Heartbreak Hotel was one of my favorites, and they all had like titles of different Elvis singles. Usually, there was Heartbreak Hotel, called Suspicious Minds, and there was another one called It's Now or Never. But they always had great picture sleeves, and they were some of my earliest memories of Elvis on vinyl.
Yeah.
And just recently, I found out again the ones I had, and I've got back into actually going on places like Discogs and trying to locate them. Got about 20 of those albums back in my collection again, and they're great ways of discovering Elvis's music at a budget price. And one of my memories. Now, I was just wondering whether any of your viewers remember those albums and what their memories were.
Yeah, well, I certainly
do. Was it on vinyl or was it on CD?
Yeah, I mean, vinyl is making a comeback. There's no doubt about it. You know, when you go into HMV and all those places, there's a whole rack now dedicated to vinyl again. And I mean, I remember You'll Never Walk Alone. There was a great photograph of him in the wingsuit on the cover of You'll Never Walk Alone. Right. There was another one, U.S. Mail. A great photograph of him from the Aloha show.
Hawaii, yeah. Well, my dad had that one. That was another budget LP he had, and it was quite a strange combination of tracks, really, because you had a few movie tracks in there, and then you had some like of the big hits like Burning Love and U.S. Mail, and there were quite unusual compilations regarding tracks. But the Heartbreak Hotel one for me, my dad bought me, and he bought me because it's got a killer track listing. I mean, just off memory, it starts and then goes into
you're just breaking up a little bit there, Paul.
Yeah, great tracks. Oh, sorry. It could be where I am in my office. It's a bit flaky with the Wi-Fi. So,
all right.
And he had some great tracks on there. And I love that album. Really, really good. And for the price, I think they were a couple of £1 each.
Yeah. There was something. There was another company called K-Tel as well, wasn't there, in England? Do you remember that one? K-Tel.
Yeah. Well, they did a lot of TV promotions, didn't they? I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. They did. Yeah. Was it there was one called Elvis 40 Greatest Hits or something?
Yes, that's right.
I think that was a K-Tel with a big picture of his head on the front.
Yeah, it was gold. And then I showed one.
That was right.
I showed one a couple of weeks ago where they redid it, and it was in shocking pink, and it was the one where he is singing "Hound Dog" to the dog, obviously on Steve Allen's show. So they redid that. Right. They redid that twice because it sold so well. They repackaged it.
They did. I mean, with Elvis, he's an icon. His music is always going to sell. And I remember there was a period, I think, in the 70s, wasn't there, where some of the albums weren't selling in certain territories as well as they had been. And I think it was just a general thing where vinyl was a bit flaky, because I remember someone saying, or something I was reading about, vinyl production had kind of hit a flaw in the 70s with the quality, and you were getting this like Dynaflex and things like that. And they were cutting back with the quality of the vinyl. And I think people were going to different mediums like 8-track and cassette and things like that. So, but I mean, I think Elvis is always going to sell, and I honestly think he's more popular now than he's ever been.
Oh yeah.
People I talk to, they love him. It's great music first and foremost. I've just picked up a CD in last week. It's on order, called Elvis in Paris, and it's one of the French VPI releases.
Yeah.
And they do some great stuff, and it's all alternative takes and things like that. And it's got a great photo of a black and white photo on the sleeve of Elvis in his army outfit, and I think it was taken in Germany.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is, and it's the one that a similar photograph that was used on a Big Uncle Love single sleeve.
Oh yes, yeah.
Where it's got the cap on and everything, and it's just a really nice compilation. So there's a lot of stuff out there to discover.
And just going back to vinyl, if you get a really really good pressing of vinyl and you get a good sound system, the sound from an LP will knock the socks off any CD. A CD, because a CD is digital.
Very clinical sound.
It is,
yeah.
Yeah,
it does. Vinyl sounds beautiful. I
Lovely
mean, I got myself a decent turntable a couple of years ago, because I thought, well, if I'm going to get back into it, I'm going to get a decent setup, and it does sound nice. And, there's hit and with Preston's, but generally.
Yeah. Who could forget as well the Reader's Digest box set? I think it was 8 albums of Elvis Presley's greatest hits. I've still got that in my rack. That must have
it's brilliant.
that must have flew off the shelves. That did, because
Yeah,
that was a very, I think that was was it 78 or 79 when that one was released?
it was a back end of the 70s, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, very very early 80s,
yeah.
somewhere along there. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, there was quite a resurgence in box sets for Elvis just not shortly after he passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and some good stuff. And there's been a few since then. I mean, I know they've just reissued that. Is it the Golden Awards or something? It's
Mm.
like a 3 LP set,
Yeah.
and it's the covers a box set with all gold records on the front. And I think that was out in the 80s sometime, and they've just reissued it on a coloured vinyl,
And
Legacy Records.
and we've got the Elvis on Tour box set. That's obviously on DVD. Is that available on vinyl as well, or just DVD and CD?
I'm not sure, Steve. I haven't actually seen that as yet. I'm undecided whether to pick it up because I've got the movie on Blu-ray,
Yeah.
and I think the Blu-ray that's part of that CD box set is just the standard Blu-ray that we all know and love.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to hear the concert material because apparently they've done a fantastic job at cleaning that up. And I've seen a couple of unboxings on YouTube of people that have bought it, and it looks really nice. So I'm interested to hear and I think it's probably available for streaming on.
Well,
Apple Music,
I've been streaming it. I've been streaming it since before Christmas. I think it was either before Christmas or
Right.
just after Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good album. Yeah. But of course, what everybody wants is they want the unseen footage. That's what everybody wants.
Of course. And do you know, I think really, Steve, I think it was a missed opportunity with this box set, with it being the 50th anniversary. I think they could have pushed the boat out and done something with that. But I mean, I don't know who owns the rights for the material, the footage. I don't know, but maybe they could have done something with that instead of just putting the Blu-ray out again. You know? Because I mean, a lot of fans are going to be. I think it's about £90 in the UK, and I know some of the message boards, some of the fans have been saying, well, the problem with that is it's like it contains a Blu-ray that we've already bought, so there's that kind of brings the value down a little bit.
Yes.
But a lot of fans, well, I think most of the fans were wanting the unseen material because it's out there.
Well,
it would have been wonderful to see.
Baz Luhrmann has promised to do something with it, but of course, stuff like that takes time. So we're not going to see it anytime soon, unfortunately.
It does, yeah.
Great,
But
Paul. Really good to speak to you. Thanks very much for calling in.
Yeah, well, thank you, Steve. Thanks for what you do, and
no problem.
Long may it continue.
All right.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank
now.
you. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.
Yeah, what a great call there. I would urge everybody to, if you've got vinyl, to pull it out of storage and get it on the turntables, because there's nothing quite like the sound of a vinyl record. Now, let's just revisit. Oh, hang on. I beg your pardon. I've got another call. Hello.
Hello, Steve.
Hi.
How you doing?
Who's that?
Me, Jordan Henry.
Oh, hi, Jordan. I didn't see the name. How are you doing, Jordan?
I'm doing good. Hope you're doing great. Just watching the show. I watch it every Sunday.
Thanks very much.
Yeah. So the wee thing that you had on there, if it was taken in from Hawaii or February, I'm gonna say February time.
Oh, you are? Oh, right.
Yeah.
So you really think you really think that one there, let me give you the side by side. You think that the one on the right, which is the rare photograph, he looks the same as the one on the left taken in January 1973. We know that's taken in January 1973, around about the Aloha from Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to say that definitely, because in 1973, Elvis was slowly stopped using the jumpsuits and started just using more regular clothes on it.
Right.
In the shows. I think so anyway.
Okay. Now we can see that rare photograph there now. It shows the blue trousers that he was wearing in Madison Square Garden, the press conference, and also the gold attendance belt as well, which he did actually wear a lot during 1972. Does that not sway you?
Yeah. No, not really. I just think that, he just stopped, using jumpsuits because a lot of fans back in 1973 were saying that, they wish that Elvis would just like wear normal clothes on stage instead of wearing the jumpsuits, because a lot of fans, believe it or not, didn't like the jumpsuits. They thought it was a bit, God-seeing and stuff, and that's when a lot of people stopped listening to Elvis because of the Beatles and stuff.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you're voting. You're voting then for February 1973 on the poll.
Yeah.
Okay.
February 1973.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. All right. I'll be interested to see what the outcome is at the end of the show. I'd urge people, as many people as possible, actually to vote on that, because obviously the more people vote, the more accurate the result is. So May to November 1972 or February 1973, the Aloha from Hawaii period. Great. All right, Jordan, anything else you'd like to say?
Yes.
Okay.
I recently picked up a big box set from Elvis called Elvis 50s Remastered. I don't know if that is like released by the Elvis Presley estate or released by RCA. But I looked into it, and the same people that made that box set are the same people that made Michael Jackson's box set of different CDs.
Right.
And I think they were released in the same year of 2001. I mean, I that's just me.
Yeah.
And also, I went to see Elvis Spectacular Saturday night. The guy that did Elvis sound exactly like him. This is my second time seeing him live, and
what was his name?
The best.
What was his name?
I think it's called Craig.
Craig. Okay. Right. And you say he did a really, really good job, yeah?
Absolutely, the best job. I think better than any other Elvis tribute artist.
Very good. Very good.
So yeah.
You had a good night.
Yeah, and I talked someone who isn't even an Elvis fan, and she said that she loved it. She thought it was great, and she said if she was standing way back more at the stage, she actually thought Elvis would have been there.
Wow, that's
so yeah. I think I just got a new Elvis fan.
That's a big compliment. Big compliment. Great, and of course, if that turns people on to the real Elvis, then all the better.
Yeah, as many people this year, I'm going to try and get them into Elvis.
Good.
Because we cannot let Elvis's legacy die. We have to let it live on forever.
That's right. That's what we're doing this channel for.
We need to keep Elvis alive, because more generations need to see Elvis, and more generations need to hear the man that Elvis was, and that was the greatest rock and roll star of all time, and he will always be the king.
Well said. Well said. Okay, Jordan, we'll leave it there. Thank you very, very much for calling.
Thank you, Steve.
Talk to you again. Okay.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, very, very good. He is voting for February 1973. Now, again, I'll give you the options: May, November 1972, or February 1973, and that's obviously for those that photograph, the rare photograph that sort of, well, it had been around before, I believe. I do remember seeing it before, but it kind of had a new lease of life there a couple of weeks ago, and I've only just had chance now to return to it and revisit it. And I'm asking for people to vote May to November 1972, because he was in Hawaii in May to get a tan for Madison Square Garden, and he was also doing shows in November 1972, and then obviously February 1973 for Aloha. And I would like your opinion on what when you think that photograph was taken. I'd also like to remind you that I'm looking for people to come on the show sometime in the very near future. If you attended any of the Madison Square Garden concerts, please contact me at the channel, Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel at gmail.com, and share your experience with other fans. Now, I do know that probably a couple of people did contact me, but of course, things have overtaken us since then. The death of Lisa Marie sort of knocked everything back. So if you did contact me about Madison Square Garden and you want to come on the show and tell us about it, then do contact the show, Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel at gmail.com, and we'll organise a telephone call and a recording to be made. Right, so we are going to do This Day in Elvis History, and I have some great photographs for This Day in Elvis History. January the 29th, 1955, Elvis performed at the Louisiana Hayride. There's a great action shot of him at the Louisiana Hayride. And I couldn't resist this as well. 1957, production of Loving You. By the way, these photographs will contain a health warning in case you need smelling salts, because there's the sultry look that he gave the camera when he was doing production and publicity photographs for Loving You. Again, in 1958, he was working on King Creole. Look at that hair. Fabulous. 1962, from Las Vegas, Elvis traveled to Lake Tahoe, where he stayed one night at Del Webb Sahara Tahoe before returning to Los Angeles. 1963, fun in Acapulco. There he is again, without Elsa Cardenas this time, but the bolero jacket and so forth, and the cummerbund. I think that's what you call it, isn't it? That was on this day in 1963. 1966, Elvis Tell Me Why reached number 33 in the US. And in 1970, RCA released Kentucky. No, that's the wrong one, Steve. Released Kentucky Rain and My Little Friend. In the USA, the single reached number 3 in the adult contemporary, number 16 on the Hot 100, and number 31 on the country chart. In Canada, number 1, country number 4, contemporary, and number 10 on the singles chart. It reached 21 in the UK. There you go. And then we've got also in 1970, 1971, 1972, 1973 and 1974, we have Elvis does dinner shows and midnight shows in Vegas. And there's a shot from a CD from Las Vegas, 29th of January 1974, the dinner show. 1975, we've got, unfortunately, Elvis was admitted to Baptist Memorial Hospital in Memphis. After Linda woke up finding him struggling for breath, Dr. Nick had him admitted. Officially, they said that Elvis had to undergo tests for a liver problem, but in fact, it was an attempt to get Elvis's use of prescription medications under control. Linda stayed with him in the hospital, and they watched the newborns in the nursery on a closed-circuit television system. Right, let's have a quick look to see how we're doing with the poll. Yeah, there are still people voting. When do you think this rare photo was taken? And this is it. Do you think that photograph was taken in May or November 1972 or February 1973, the Aloha from Hawaii period? So keep voting. And it'll be very interesting to see what people think is when that was taken. And I'll give you my opinion of when I think it was taken. We're going to do Photoshop. If I can just maybe remove that for a little second. Yes, Photoshop. Here we are. A beautiful photograph of Priscilla and Elvis. But unfortunately, no, it's not. This is the original photograph. As you can see, it's been desaturated, so it is black and white or sepia or whatever. And then Elvis's head and Priscilla's head has been superimposed on those two people there. So yeah, if you see that one doing the rounds, it's not. And I have another one for you next week, I think, which is Elvis and Priscilla, I believe. Now I want to do a song I wish Elvis had recorded, and it is suggested by Jack Mullins. Jack, if you're still watching, yes, it's your choice, from the third album by that man there, Neil Young, by the Canadian-American musician Neil Young. After the Gold Rush, that was the name of the album, originally released in 1970. By the song Jack has chosen wasn't in the original release, but was added to the 50th anniversary release in 2020. Wicked Felina, thanks very much for the super chat. If my mother was alive, she'd have broke down and cried at what Jordan said. We've got to make sure Elvis lives forever. I'm still crying. Bless you, Jordan. Yes, fantastic call from Jordan. And I couldn't agree more with what he said at the end of his call. We've got to make sure that Elvis lives forever. And Felina, thank you very, very much for the support of the super chat. Very, very much appreciated. That'll probably buy me a couple of cups of coffee. So the song is called Wondering. Verse 1 goes, I've been walking all night long. My footsteps made me crazy. Baby, you've been gone way too long. Chorus, I'm wondering if you'll come home. I'm hoping that you'll be my lady. I'm wondering if you'll be alone, knowing that I need you to save me. It's an acoustic arrangement and also quite a short song that runs for just 2 minutes and 3 seconds. If you're not familiar with the song, Wondering by Neil Young, I will put a link in the description box below. Click on that and it will take you to that song. And that is the song that I wish Elvis had recorded, picked out by Jack Mullins. So, and if you know of a song that's stuck in your head, or you're doing your daily duties, going through the supermarket or listening to the radio or anything like that, and you hear a song come on that you wished Elvis had recorded, send it in to me and we can feature it on another show in the future. Same with the Photoshop as well. If you want to send me in a Photoshop if you want to send me in the Photoshop picture and then the original, if you've got your hands on the original, and we can do that as well. I can use one of the Photoshop pictures as well. Now, I can't wait for this. This is the smoking hot photograph. Ladies, get ready with the cold showers and so forth, because it really is a good one. Can you imagine if you're, say, walking home or something from the shops? It's sort of, oh, hang on. You'll have to wait a few more minutes for the smoking hot photograph. Hello.
Hello, Steve. It's Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I've had to tell you off about something in your messenger.
Oh, right.
You told people to play their vinyls. I collect vinyl records.
Oh, yes.
And there are certain records that if you play them, they decrease in value.
Say that again. If you play them, what?
There are certain records that if you play them, they decrease in value.
Oh, yes, of course they do. Yeah. Well, what a lot of people used to do was they used to buy They used to buy 2 copies of an LP. They used to buy one to play and one not to open.
I still do that.
Yeah, so it's their mint.
Yeah, I still do that.
Yeah. But then again,
but I own.
You've got to buy something and enjoy it. You've got to play it. Haven't you?
But you've also got to be sensible.
Oh yeah.
I own a copy of the original Sgt. Pepper, for example.
Oh yes.
And I only play that once a year. And when I handle it, I always have an anti-static cloth between me and the record player.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I've also got an Elvis record with the poster in it, and the poster's in mint condition.
Yeah. Oh well, I do agree with you. Yeah, you should, if you're going to buy vinyl, buy 2 copies, one to keep pristine and one to play, but you have to play it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or buy a player that records the file, and then you can play the file on your computer without damaging the record.
Yeah, but you see, then we're going back to what we said earlier on in the show, where it's digital and it doesn't sound as good digital as it does straight off the vinyl.
Well, I'll have to send you a recorded file and see what you think.
Okay.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. I mean, I know what Sarah meant there. Yeah. Once you play, the first time you play a record, that's it. Once it's played, it reduces in value straight away. And as I said to her, what you do is you buy two. One you keep mint and never open, leave it sealed. And the other one you put up on your turntable and enjoy it. Because Elvis's voice is got to be enjoyed, people, hasn't it? It really has. It really has to be listened to. You can't go through a day without playing Elvis. A day without Elvis is a day wasted. That's what I say. If you don't listen to Elvis at least one song, if not more, it's a day wasted. It really is. So, yes, this smoking hot photograph. Here we go. Yeah, imagine if you're, say, walking home from the shops or something and the street lights are on, but of course it's dark. And then you're approached by somebody coming towards you on the footpath, sidewalk, whatever you want to call it. And this comes out of the darkness at you. And he looks at you. That is this week's smoking hot photograph. And I'm just going to wait a little while for the comments to come through to see what people think of that. Because I picked that as the smoking hot photograph for this week. He could stop you and say, am I going the right way for Lidl or Walmart or Asda? Who was that last caller? That last caller was Sarah Plunkett. Yeah. And she was saying that every time you... Kirsty says an ovary explosion. Yeah. Oh, wow, he's so gorgeous, says Jill. Yeah, Sarah was saying you should keep one copy of an album not to be played. But then again, would you ever really sell it? You know, I know what she says. It decreases in value, but the real value of an album is putting it on the turntable, dropping that needle into the groove and listening to that beautiful Elvis voice coming out of the speakers. Deb H says, baby, oh baby. Gunnar says, grabs the smelling salt again. That's 1974 when he was with Sheila. It does look like sort of 1974-ish. Yeah. Tom Jones Show. Yeah. Okay. Does anyone think that Elvis had a beautiful speaking voice? Elvis had a beautiful everything. He had a beautiful speaking voice, beautiful face, beautiful singing voice, beautiful nature, just a beautiful soul. So yeah, he was just, yeah, he had it all, didn't he? He really did. Dolores says, my heart. He spoke extremely beautiful and politely. Yes, he had a beautiful everything, says Ruth Daniel. Hi, Ruth. Yeah. So that's my smoking hot photograph for this week. If you want to send in a particular photograph that makes you swoon, ladies, please send it in to me at Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel at gmail.com, or you can send it to me on Facebook Messenger. Any way you can get it to me, and I can feature it in a future show. Smoking hot. Okay, I've done the Photoshop. I wish Elvis had recorded. I'm going to give the poll result in a minute, because if you're watching this on playback, you can't actually vote and you won't see the result, but I will tell you the result for the benefit of people who are watching this on playback. I'm just going to let it run for another minute or so, because I can still see that people are still voting on that. And as I say, I was kind of disappointed to see things like this during the week. Lisa Marie Presley with Father Elvis Presley, December 1970. It's not, it's a Photoshop. Well, people would say, okay, well, it's still a photograph. But just to be aware that there are photographs like that for sale which aren't a genuine photograph. All right, so I just wanted to... you can subscribe, by clicking on the subscribe button and clicking the bell and making sure that you select all. And even if you are subscribed, you can click on the subscribe button and it'll tell you if you're personalized or all, and you can change it to all, and then you'll see every time I go live or post a video on this channel. Right, so let's have a look to see what way it went. Right, so end poll, and it is, as you can probably see, May, November 1972, 72%, and only 27% are saying it's February 1973. My particular feeling on this is that photograph is somewhere in the region of either May or November 1972. I feel almost 100% sure, although I can never be 100% sure about everything, is that was not taken around about the Hello from Hawaii period. So I would have voted, I would have been with the 72%, 1972. That's nice and neat, isn't it? 72% say 72. Yeah. Right. Okay. Thanks very, very much for joining me tonight. Thanks very much for your support. As always, I can't do it without you. And until next week, look after yourself. Don't forget to send in all those photographs and I wish Elvis had recorded and all the other things. And yeah, just let me know about things. Thanks to all the great callers as well. Thanks to Lou Dane and Dave for moderating. Couldn't do it without you guys. And until next Sunday, look after yourselves. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.
Elvis has left the building. Thank you and good night.